Welcome back to my channel. So once again, I'm using ChatGPT for some Japanese speaking practice. Today, I'm working on the grammar form nagara. It's a way to express doing something while doing something else. So let's see how I do.
音楽を聴きながらよく何をしますか？
Ongaku o... Okay, so it sounded like ongaku o kiku or kiki nagara. So while listening to music, and then it sounded like nani o shimashita. So I believe this is just asking me what I do while listening to music. I could say that I cook while listening to music. So that would be jori o shiteru. Or would it be teiru ongaku o kiki nagara jori o jori o shimasu. It would either be shimasu or shiteru. I'll go with shimasu and see how it goes. Hudon ongaku o kiki nagara jori o shimasu.
That was great. You definitely used the Nagara form correctly there. The answer made perfect sense. You said you usually cook while listening to music. So that's exactly what we're aiming for. Keep it up.
You asked me what I do while listening to music, right?
Exactly. You've got it. I asked what you do while you're listening to music, and you answered that you usually cook. So it all lines up perfectly. You understood the question just fine.
So I guess my only question is, should I have ended that with shiteru or shimasu was fine? I wasn't sure if it needed to be progressive since I said I usually do this.
That's a good question. In this case, either ending is actually fine. Using shibas is perfectly natural to say I usually do this. If you had said shiteiru, it would emphasize more that you're in the middle of doing it right now or that it's something you're currently doing. But for a general habit like I usually cook while listening to music, just using shimas is absolutely fine. 映画を見ながらよく何を飲みますか?
So this one just sounded like, what do you do while watching a movie? I think it said ego o mi nagara. I didn't hear that end part. Could you repeat it one more time for me?
映画を見ながらよく何を飲みますか?
Yoko nani o imasu ka? Yoko nani o imasu ka? I would have expected shimasu ka if it was asking what I normally do while watching a movie. I think I'll just answer it that way to be safe because I'm not 100% sure. And I could just say I typically eat while watching a movie. So I believe it would just be eiga o mi nagara tabemasu. I think that's all I would really have to say. Let's try. Eiga o mi nagara tabemasu.
All right, so you said you eat while watching movies. That's a perfectly fine sentence in itself, but I asked what you often drink while watching movies. So I'll be a bit strict here and say you did answer in good Japanese, but it didn't quite match the question. If you want to answer the question directly, you could say something like, 映画を見ながらよくお茶を飲みます, for example. But nice try.
Could you repeat the question so I could listen to it one more time?
映画を見ながらよく何を飲みますか?
Okay, so I'm still not quite hearing it. So that's just going to be something that I have to look at after recording. Okay, let's go to the next question.
散歩しながら普段どんなことを考えていますか?
I heard something about usually walking. Could you repeat that again?
散歩しながら普段どんなことを考えていますか?
Tell me. I don't have a clue what this one means. Could you tell me the meaning and then I'll still try and come up with a sentence?
Absolutely, I can do that. So the question I asked basically means, while you're taking a walk, what do you usually think about?
Okay, now I need to think. I think the verb is for think is. I do remember hearing kanga somewhere in there. I think it's kangaeru is to think. So how would I say it? Sampo shinagara, and then what am I thinking about? Normally I'm thinking about honestly studying Japanese. So would I just say sampo shinagara Nihongo benkyo? Would it just be Nihongo benkyo o kangaerimasu? I'll try it. Sampo shi nagara Nihongo benkyo o kangaerimasu.
That's a great answer. You use the structure correctly. You said that you think about studying Japanese while you're taking a walk.
Is there a better way that I could have said the sentence?
Honestly, you said it really well. One tiny tweak you could do for a slightly more natural flow is maybe say something like 散歩しながら日本語の勉強のことを考えます, which just adds a little about studying Japanese nuance in there. But your sense was absolutely fine as it was, so you did great.
Okay, let's keep going.
本を読みながらどんな音楽を聴きますか?
So the first part sounded like while reading a book. Again, I didn't catch the end. Could you repeat that for me?
本を読みながらどんな音楽を聴きますか?
So I'm having a harder time today hearing these questions. I think for some reason it's asking what I listen to while reading a book. Because I heard kiku. Just keep it simple. Like I say, I listen to music. Hon o yomi nagara ongaku o kikimasu. Hon o yomi nagara ongaku o kikimasu.
That's a good start. You're saying you listen to music while reading a book, which is perfectly fine Japanese. But just to be a bit strict, I did ask what kind of music you listen to. So if you want to answer more fully, you could say something like "Hon wo yominagara yoku jazz o kikimasu." I often listen to jazz or reading a book.
What was the word for, you said what kind? How did you ask that?
Sure. So the way I asked what kind of was by using the phrase "donna." So in the question I said "donna ongaku," which means what kind of music. You can use "donna" to ask about what kind or what sort of something in general. So that's the key phrase there.
Okay, donna ongaku, what kind of music? Okay, let's keep going.
テレビを見ながらよく何をしますか？
Okay, so it was something while watching TV. Terebi. Could you repeat that for me?
テレビを見ながらよく何をしますか？
Okay, so I think it's just asking what I do while watching TV. In a way, this is pretty similar to earlier because it says, what do I normally do while watching a movie? So I could just say I eat dinner. So I could just say, terebi o mi nagara bangohan o tabemasu. Terebi o mi nagara bangohan o tabemasu.
That's a perfect answer. You said you eat dinner while watching TV, and that fits the question exactly.
Okay, let's try one more solid question.
友達と話しながら普段どんなことをしますか？
While talking to your friends, donna. So is it saying, what do you usually talk about? I heard donna this time. Could you repeat it one more time?
友達と話しながら普段どんなことをしますか？
I don't know what. It's saying, what kind of something do you do? I heard donna this time, which I didn't usually hear, but I can't. I'm not hearing the word in between donna and then shimaska. But it's something about while you're talking to friends, blank. Maybe it's something as simple as what are you doing normally when you're talking to your friends? I'll say like watch anime or something while talking to friends. Tomodachi to hanashi nagara anime o mimasu. Tomodachi to hanashi nagara anime o mimasu.
That's a great answer. You said you watch anime while talking with your friends, and that fits the question really well. So nice job. You answered it perfectly and naturally.
What was your question?
Sure, my question was asking while you're talking with your friends, what do you usually do? And you answered that you watch anime while talking with them, which matched the question perfectly.
Thanks for watching this video, especially if you made it to the end. This form definitely trips me up sometimes, and I also had a hard time comprehending some of the questions, but that's okay. We're just focused on small improvements. Please leave in comments if you notice any mistakes that I made, or if there's any other kind of videos that you'd like to see, and I will try and incorporate them as best I can.